Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Here for you during this very difficult time. Because, as you know, we're all in this together. And we're facing this new normal together. So
that's good. That's you should write that one down.
I think I will, because it's pretty inspirational, right?
And use it over and over and over again everywhere.
Inspirational, aspirational, it's all of those things. Asinine.
Perspirational.
Yeah, all of it. Got some leftover tweets to start the day, because all the stories can drive you out of your mind. Oh, we'll mix in some that will provide you some hope. There is hope for a brighter day.
Wait, there is?
I don't know when that's coming, but...
Wow.
But there is hope for a brighter day.
I like this.
Yeah.
Huh.
From Abner Normal. Wait a minute. So Aunt Jemima, a minority, loses a job, but the Quaker gets to keep his?
Oh.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. On Aunt Jemima syrup, it's just too racially racist.
Sure. Yeah, let's go with that. It's
racially racist to have... Aunt Jemima on the... So we got some options here that have been sent in.
All right. What do we got?
As Aunt Jemima gets a makeover, maybe Uncle Trans Jemima.
There we go.
And we have Aunt Karen.
Oh, Aunt Karen.
Original syrup. Yeah, Aunt Karen. I like that.
Yeah, okay, so... but then that's a white chick taking
that's
black
right.
chick's job.
That's true.
By the way, Uncle Ben has been put on notice. Okay, that'll be next.
And his rice?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you about the food situation.
I don't know what to tell you about the food.
I mean, I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know.
It's a good year.
First of all, I don't like that kind of syrup anyway. I like actual maple syrup. Maple syrup. Not with the cornstarch in it. Not with all the fakey stuff put in to make it super thick and nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the good, old-fashioned, delicious, pure maple syrup.
Give me Parker's Real.
Which is great stuff.
Because he's the kid who started that.
Yes.
Yeah, that is really
good stuff.
And it's on the shelf now at Walmart and stuff like
is
that.
it?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
He's everywhere now. Oh, Parker maple syrup. Mm-hmm.
He, of course, was here, I don't know, several years ago, right? How long has it been?
Well,
4 or 5 years?
first, we were in New York, right?
And he came down to the New York studios.
Uh-huh.
Then he sent us some stuff here.
Uh-huh. And now I think he lives down in Austin.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, because he got married, and I think they live in Austin.
Oh, wow.
And so they were in town, came by, joined you on your show a couple years ago.
Right. That's right.
Remember the cotton candy? Oh, with
so
the
good.
maple syrup in it. Oh.
So good.
Good
and
stuff.
he said better for you than, the regular cotton candy stuff.
Keep talking, because I'll keep eating.
It's delicious.
Mm-hmm.
It's good stuff. Piltdown Posse tweets, since minstrels in blackface is racist, shouldn't drag queens be racist, considering the history of men playing women in theater?
Or sexist? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Sexist, racist, homophobic,
Something's wrong.
Transphobe.
I know
don't
that.
know. There's some kind of phobia.
Something's going on there.
Some
that
sort
needs
of
to be
phobia
addressed.
in there that we're scared of. Yep. So, yes, is the answer. From T. Sheehan, will FSU have to change their school name and mascot? We talking Florida State here, since the Seminole tribe had black slaves. Uh-oh! Don't start asking questions that involve historical fact.
When
Don't
do
do
we
it.
just become Team A and Team B?
I think that's kind of already here.
The Florida State Team A's.
Yeah. Jeez.
I don't know.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And a really good point. Of course, nobody will, on the other side of this ledger, will pick it up. Not offense, Steve. Knot, not a fence. Not offense, slave. Not offense, Steve. I consulted a renowned geology expert, and I can now confirm how Pico crosses Florida in a straight line like that.
How does he do that?
He swims under it.
He swims under it.
Okay. Huh. All right.
Who's the renowned expert that he consulted?
Congressman Hank Johnson.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
the
so
one who's worried about Guam tipping over and capsizing.
See, if Florida wasn't attached to the mainland, then they'd have a problem when Pico went underneath.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing that
Fortunately, they don't.
keeps it from capsizing.
There it is. Yeah, every time Pico goes across Florida, it looks like he walked across.
It's amazing.
Jogged across the state.
You think with all the cell phone cameras and stuff everywhere, we'd have some video of Pico crossing the peninsula there, but
You'd think so.
I guess not.
From Racco, was Pat using a U-Haul blanket during the bras segment? Yes, I was.
Yeah.
Very nasty.
Oh, those things were, oh my gosh.
Very, very nasty.
I went to find props for that bit. In case you're not familiar, you got to get to youtube.com/PatGray. Subscribe, click the bell for notifications whenever we do a new video. But I went to find some stuff, and there was a big pile of these moving blankets that you wrap furniture in and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I swear, those were the nastiest things I have ever touched, short of when I've bumped into Jeffy in the hallway. They were so nasty. And we're sitting here doing this bit, and they've got first of all, they reek. And I'm glad it was dark, because then you didn't get to see all the stuff that was on them. No, but it was just spider webs and just like leaves and nasty stuff.
Great,
I mean, it was, except
good
for
to
yours
know.
was clean. No, yours was clean.
Oh.
The one you
I'm
had
sure
on,
it was.
the
Yeah.
one I
Mine
had
was clean.
Yeah, I had the nasty ones on the cot out here. Yeah, so anyway, get to
Okay,
youtube.com/PatGray to see the fun bit we did there. But yeah, Racco sent us some stuff, yeah?
Yeah. He met part of our demands.
He sure did.
Sent 2 bags of Sour Patch Kids along with the rubber chicken.
Yeah, the rubber chicken.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah. I took the rubber chicken, in case you want to see. I took that home and terrorized my dogs with it over the weekend. So there's video on Twitter at Keith Malinak.
Okay, so Racco sent that. Mm-hmm. But was he one that sent the... We had 2 boxes over here.
2 boxes. So Racco had sent
sent one of those, right?
Yep. And then the other one was it Monique?
It was Monique Battaglia, who sent us
hand sanitizer.
Oh, some hand sanitizer, which smells great. It doesn't smell like that alcohol thing.
Yep.
The lemon thing I really like. The other, just a tad girly, and she said, I hope these aren't too girly. The lemon one was not.
Thank you.
But my wife will love the other girly stuff.
Yeah.
And then...
what?
And then...
So we got more stuff sent to bras?
Monique Battaglia sent to bra. And this wasn't even one of our demands.
This is above and beyond.
She sent us 3 dozen cookies from the greatest cookie company on earth.
Oh, what cookie company is that?
It is truly Scrumptious Cookies.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, I have too.
Truly, so
they're supposed to be the best anybody's ever tasted anytime in the history of the planet.
Are those the folks at scrumptiouscookie.com?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can go to scrumptiouscookie.com and place an order.
That's right. And
like Monique Battaglia did for us.
Oh, and I was mean when I teased the audience online last week because I was eating a scrumptiouscookie.com. And sharing pictures with the audience.
Let me just show you one of these. Look at how beautiful my wife does these.
Look at that.
Isn't that great?
Handcrafted.
Handcrafted. Each and every one of them.
And very, very edible.
Oh, these are not done by machines. These are all handcrafted.
Oh, I like the direction they're... No, wait.
And then let me show you some of the other ones.
Say what?
There's...
Say what?
Like a million of these.
Oh.
I mean, this one feels like more than a dozen. It's a dozen. Okay. And then we got some caramel.
Oh,
some of the lemon blueberry, some of the chocolate drizzle and the chocolate chip, and then the M&M chocolate chip.
Why can't I reach these? What's happening?
You need
Which
to.
one's a lemon berry?
These with the white. Yeah, it looks white, but it's actually lemon.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's our show prep today, right there.
That's our show prep.
Look at that, man.
Thank you, Monique.
Seriously,
that is
thank you.
Way above and beyond. That is really cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Those came in just at the end of the show yesterday. Somebody that I know delivered them, my son, actually, and we didn't quite make it for the show, but got them today.
But they made them after Jeffy was gone for the day, so that was helpful.
So we're going to try to save one for Jeffy because I think she wanted Jeffy to have one. So.
Oh, well, if Monique says so, then
yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Also, let's see, we got this. You won't be able to ever unsee this after you see it. Montana is to Idaho what Joe Biden is to women's hair. Look at this. Once you see Joe Biden sniffing Idaho, you'll never see Idaho the same way again.
Boy, Idaho is a victim.
Doesn't it? It looks like Joe Biden sniffing Idaho. Montana's, kind of pokes out there like a nose.
Look, when Idaho is constantly washing her hair with Pert Plus, you gotta take a sniff. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, so Montana / Joe Biden fell for the trap.
It's great.
That is funny stuff. And yes, you're right. Every time you look at a map now of the Northwest, you're like, oh, there's Joe.
Yep. All right. Now we get to the fun stuff.
Like bingo?
Oh, yeah. Erica in Utah. Let's go to Erica in Utah. Hi, you're on the Blaze. Bingo. All right.
Bingo.
Tell us where your bingo occurred.
It was second row down, starting with during this difficult time.
Yep.
Ouch.
Okay.
Mormon Mafia. Barack knows we're going to have to change our traditions of
Our
history.
history.
And Keith mentioned Pico the Shark.
You got it. All right.
Woo!
Nice job. Way to be alert so early in the morning.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I know.
Because I think it was the first thing we did, right? That was yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Have you picked out your thing yet? Whatever it is from the shop.blazemedia.com/Pat.
Yes.
I sure did.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Erica. Enjoy it.
Thank you.
Appreciate
You don't
it. Thanks
wanna-
for listening.
You don't want to find out what it was? You don't really care.
No.
I bet it was a Cardinal Joe Tobin shirt.
Could have been. Could have been a Cardinal Joe Tobin. It could have been.
Just making small talk.
Yeah.
Could be that.
Could.
Could just be a regular, just Pat Gray Unleashed T-shirt.
Do we have This Is Not a Democracy? We have that one, right? Don't we?
I
Or do we
believe so.
still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, but we'll never know what Erica in Utah.
No, because I didn't ask.
You didn't ask. Okay.
It's kind of none of our business, really.
That's true. That's true. We do also have the Making the Apocalypse Fund since 2017 available.
Okay.
Mostly vegetarian.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's so many good shirts, so you'll check them out. That
shop.blazemedia.com/Pat.
yes.
Squiggly
No.
line
Quit while you're ahead.
underscore.
You had it.
All right. So, there's some good news. There's some good things going on in the world, like some police officers in Middle Tennessee, a deputy who went to a restaurant, sat down, ate his meal, and then got a note from two black women. And you might think, okay, great, this is going to be some nasty note. Nope. It did say Black Lives Matter underlined, but so do yours. Thank you for your service. Breakfast paid.
Wow, how cool is that? That's Cracker Barrel. And that's the second one. We also had a black dude buy 4 cops their meal at a Cracker Barrel. So the moral of the story is if you're a cop, you should be eating at Cracker Barrel because you might get lucky.
Yeah.
Someone might come up and pay for your meal. But I love seeing stuff like that. That shows that we're still Americans.
Yes. Yeah, it does.
It's good.
Meanwhile, of course, in Atlanta, with the shooting that we all saw, we've all seen this one too. Rayshard Brooks was shot as he turned and was firing a taser at police officers. First of all, he's fighting them tooth and nail here, battling like crazy. They take him to the ground. He's resisting arrest, and he's resisting arrest because he's out on probation. And he's out on probation due to charges against him for false imprisonment, simple battery, family, battery simple, and felony cruelty to children.
Oh, boy.
So he doesn't want to go back to jail.
So not a great guy.
And so he's hitting these officers, beating them, takes one of their tasers, starts running down the road, and they go in pursuit of him. And as he's running away, he turns and fires the taser at him. Looks like he hit one of the officers. Nobody talks about that. I think he actually hit one of the officers.
So.
And the officer fired back at him and shot and killed him. That officer has been charged with murder.
Felony murder, which could be the death penalty in the state of Georgia.
That's unbelievable.
Could be life in prison.
That is not what happened to George Floyd. That is not what happened to Eric Garner. That is not the same situation at all. I don't even understand how they can be charged with anything or fired for that matter. It looked, when you're being fired upon by whatever kind of weapon, isn't that justified that you fire back?
Well, I mean, the DA who is seeking this felony murder charge, just a couple weeks ago, he had some comments about tasers. So let's see what he said just a couple of weeks ago.
All right.
And
that there's no problem with them? Need to turn back up there we go. Or not?
Do we have the audio of the DA in Atlanta? Okay. So,
anyway, he said it was a deadly weapon.
Yeah, he says in the state of Georgia, a taser is a deadly weapon.
So you're firing a deadly weapon at an officer, and he was supposed to do what then?
Right.
What?
Exactly. Nothing, I guess. So it was a deadly weapon 2 weeks ago in Georgia, but now it's just, let him go. He was shooting it at them. Oh, which, by the way, I want to thank Deb's Privilege for making me aware of this. There are some federal executions that were just scheduled earlier this week. And some of those used the tase gun, right? Okay? To hit their victims. And then they proceeded to tie up their victims with plastic bags around their heads and murdered them. Okay? So they incapacitated them with the taser, which is the justification that we've been talking about all week about this cop in Atlanta.
Because once you're incapacitated, who knows what they're going to do to you?
Then Brooks could have done who knows what to those cops.
Yeah.
So anyhow, we've got the DA saying it's a deadly weapon, and we've got these federal death row inmates now that used it in the commission of a murder, of 3 murders, in fact, an entire family.
So now the many police officers in Atlanta are calling in sick. Because who wants to go to work knowing that you're not going to get any kind of support, knowing that no matter what you do in the commission of your duty, you're going to be in the wrong. You're going to be in the wrong from now on. It looks like. I mean, I don't know if we pull out of this. So,
and
police departments, I think, all over are going to be shorthanded.
Yeah. Is that charge kind of an overreach like we were talking about with Minneapolis? Are they hoping that he doesn't get convicted of the felony murder charge so that the city of Atlanta burns?
I don't know.
Again.
I don't know.
Sherman.
I don't know if it's that or they're just, they just can't. Everything's going to be this now. I don't know.
Why would you want to be a police officer?
Why would you?
Under what circumstances?
Frankly, I wouldn't.
No.
So
God
I don't know.
Stay safe, guys.
All right. Here's something you might not have known. According to CNN, COVID-19 threat to pets is you.
This makes me laugh.
Pets might not infect people with COVID-19, but a new FDA video that's crawling with cuteness says they need protection from us.
From us. So stupid.
They need protection from us.
Stop the scare tactics, CNN.
Jeez.
Wow.
Here's something you can do to protect your pet and to make them feel great and to help them love their food. And that's Rough Greens VitaSmart. This is not dog food. It's a dog food supplement. You sprinkle it on your dog's food, mix it in. They're going to love it. They love the taste, and it adds all kinds of live nutrients back into your dog's food. The digestive enzymes, probiotics, vitamins and minerals, omega oils, antioxidants, all of which help your dog's your dog's health, your skin, their coat. It improves their digestive system, and it gives them energy. So they'll be puppy-like again. Take the Rough Greens 14-day Jumpstart Challenge today. See for yourself in just 14 days or less. It's just $14.95, and you'll see the difference in your dog. If you want to see your dog thrive again, just go to roughgreens.com/blaze. That's RUFFgreens.com/blaze.
Gray Unleashed.
888-933-93 and at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Of course, Joe Biden seems to have the nomination wrapped up. We still don't know really a lot of the details about how this is going to happen this summer. When are they doing? Are they still doing their convention in the same way in the same place? I don't think we know that for sure yet. Do we? I don't think we know.
I have not gotten an update on that in a while. I'll have to check that. Yeah, I don't know.
But things have heated up a little bit with an ad from Joe Biden featuring Lindsey Graham. I hope we still have this.
Oh, from the other day that we didn't get to?
Yeah.
We can look for that.
All right. We got to show you this because...
Well, before we do that, do you want to play that 1993 clip while they look for the Lindsey Graham ad where Joe Biden's on the floor of the Senate? Boy, he's got interesting stuff from a while back.
The person that is accosting your son or daughter or my son or daughter, my wife, your husband, my mother, your parents. It doesn't matter whether or not they were deprived as a youth. It doesn't matter or not whether or not they had no background that enabled them to become socialized into the fabric of society. It doesn't matter whether or not they're the victims of society. The end result is they're about to knock my mother on the head with a lead pipe, shoot my sister, beat up my wife, take on my sons. So I don't want to ask what made them do this. They must be taken off the street. That's number one. There's a consensus on that. Unless we do something about that cadre of young people, tens of thousands of them, born out of wedlock, without parents, without supervision, without any structure, without any conscience developing, because they literally, I yield myself 3 more minutes, because they literally have not been socialized. They literally have not had an opportunity. We should focus on them now. If we don't, they will, or a portion of them will, become the predators 15 years from now. And Madam President, we have predators on our streets that society has, in fact, in part because of its neglect, created. Again, it does not mean because we created them that we somehow forgive them or do not take them out of society to protect my family and yours from them. They are beyond the pale, many of those people.
What a racist.
Beyond the pale. And it's a sad commentary on society. We have no choice but to take them out of society. And the truth is, we don't very well know how to rehabilitate them at that point. That's the sad truth. I'm the guy that said, rehabilitation, when it occurs, we don't understand it and notice it.
Wow. What a difference 27 years makes.
27 years, man.
What a difference 27 years makes.
He was a lot more coherent back then.
Yeah.
I mean, he stumbled out of the gate.
Stumbled a little bit, but yeah. Wow. I mean, that's a 180.
That's tough on crime.
That's a
Joe Biden
that's
there.
a total 180 from where they are now. It just shows the radicalization of the Democrat Party on every issue. Doesn't matter whether it's crime or immigration or abortion, whatever it is, they've become so radical, and yet they always throw that accusation at Republicans. Are you kidding me? You can't even recognize Democrats as Democrats anymore. They're now socialists and communists. Or anarchists.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of anarchists in the Democrat Party. That's incredible. And the passion with which he felt all of that, and now it's completely out the window, all of it. All of it, completely gone. And they never have to answer for it either, which is beautiful. I don't understand that exactly either. Why don't they ever have to answer for it? Nobody asks them about it? Nobody? Come on. Meanwhile, Dr. Fauci is saying that I wouldn't go to the Trump rally. Well, yeah, I know, because first of all, I don't think you're a Trump fan. Secondly, you don't live in Tulsa, so why would you go? But he, he's been so good over the years at protecting Americans from diseases that you should listen to pretty much everything he says.
Is that why he's the nation's top infectious disease expert?
That's exactly why, yes.
Because he's always
right.
Nailing it.
Oh, man. Like, COVID-19 is his worst nightmare. Might be his worst, but it's certainly not his first. He's spent his professional career warning of nightmare scenarios, which pretty much never materialized.
Oh, that's good.
Nobody did more to kick off the U.S. AIDS alarm than Fauci, who was the sole author of a 1983 piece in the prestigious JAMA.
Oh, that was
the Journal of American Medical
Associates.
Associates.
You always get the copy in the mail, but you just never take the time to actually read what it stands for.
Exactly.
Oh, my jam is here.
Yeah, right. He declared the disease might be transmissible. AIDS might be transmissible by routine close contact as within a family household.
Well, that sounds oddly familiar.
Fauci shortly thereafter ascended to the position he holds to this day as the head of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases.
Isn't he good?
So you can get AIDS from, close contact with people, shaking hands, I don't know, hugging a toilet seat. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Don't hug toilet seats, though.
That's a good safety tip, always. Don't kiss your dog with your tongue, and don't hug your toilet seat.
Hold on a second. This is the Babylon Bee effect.
Uh-huh.
We're mocking this, and I guess the next thing we would say is don't lick a toilet seat. We've had videos
where people have done just that. Yeah, that's true. Yes, that is true.
Is it racist to say
man.
I'm going to wave the white flag now?
Yes. Fauci continued to raise the AIDS alarm. In 1987, columnist George Will asserted on TV that the heterosexual AIDS threat was overstated. That's not correct. Fauci protested. Well, he didn't talk like that in 1987.
He probably did.
But he does now.
Yeah.
Followed by a prediction that the percentage of AIDS cases contracted via heterosexual transmission that at 4% would rise to 10% by 1991. The rate never rose above 4%.
So his predictions have sucked before.
Fauci repeated the pattern during successive disease panics, such as when he declared 16 years ago that we're due for a massive person-to-person spread of avian flu, H5N1. How massive? Fauci didn't define massive, but according to one CDC modeler, even in the best-case scenarios, would cause 2 to 7 million deaths worldwide.
What? The place that he's the head of.
That didn't happen.
Said 2 to 7.
Yeah, the CDC. No, that never happened. More recently, Fauci sounded the threat of Zika.
Okay. Zika.
Demanding billions more in taxpayer funds. It barely touched 2 U.S. states before burning out on its own.
Strike 3.
You never even hear about Zika anymore.
No kidding. So that should have been it for him. That
should have been it.
Strike 3, you're out.
Yeah. Hey, you don't know what you're talking about, my friend. Why don't you step down from your high position in the medical community?
I mean, he's less accurate than weather guys.
Regarding COVID-19, Fauci said the virus met all 4 criteria for a nightmare scenario. It's new, respiratory-borne, easily transmissible, and has a significant degree of illness or mortality. Said the virus surprised him, though, with just how rapidly it took over the planet. However, it appears to spread with the same speed as seasonal flu, which covers the world map annually. And, of course, seasonal flu is also respiratory and has significant mortality. The guy's never right.
Never right.
How is he the czar of all things medical now? Well, what does Dr. Fauci say? Does he say I can leave my house yet?
Should we have a baseball season? Let's ask Dr. Fauci.
Can my kids go to Little League? Ask Dr. Fauci.
Well, Dr.
Can
Fauci
I go
says,
to the store? Can I go to Kroger? Ask Dr. Fauci.
What should I wear today to work?
Ask Dr. Fauci.
What should we have for dinner, dear?
I don't know. Ask Dr. Fauci. It might be infected with the COVID.
Do these pants make my
Ask
butt look
Dr.
big?
Fauci.
Seriously. Stop listening to that man.
Man. Yep, that's where I am. On the Blaze Radio and Television Network. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter, where we find COVID Bullet 23 tweeting. I sure wish someone would ask Dr. Fauci if he would intend a riot, a protest, if he would attend one, like they asked him about attending a Trump rally. Or does he believe COVID doesn't attend protests?
Wow, a lot there. Yeah. So I guess the COVID doesn't go to...
No, it doesn't go to the protests.
Right.
It knows to stay away from the BLM protests, but go directly to the Trump rallies. It knows. Gender McGenderface. Only American medical associates are allowed to write in the JAMA. That's the Journal of American Medical Associates. Isn't that what we said?
Well, yeah, but
we guessed that. The Journal of American Medical
but they won't let
Associates
realtors.
Association realtors.
So realtors aren't allowed to write for JAMA.
No, they're not.
So don't even try it.
But medical personnel also can't be part of the National Association of Realtors.
I mean, we are such an exclusionary society, is what I'm getting.
We need to look at that. Let's have a conversation about that. Why can only realtors be members of the National Association of Realtors? Why?
What if you identify as a realtor?
Thank you.
Right?
Exactly, and I do.
And you talk about having a conversation. I need some clarification. Are we supposed to be taking notes as we're, being told how to be? Like, should we be writing this down and just let them dictate to us, or should we be having a conversation? I don't know.
We take notes so we can have an intelligent conversation after it.
Don Lemon himself is confusing alone.
I know.
Okay.
Appalachian American. Keith referred to Chaz as an open mental institution. I think open air asylum has a better ring to it than outdoor mental institution. Yeah, it does. Open air asylum. I like that.
Let's start doing that. Chaz, your open air asylum.
We got this from
somebody. It's awesome, I'm sure.
Has Bras annexed food? Fisher occupied overweight district to make itself bigger.
Yeah, we're gonna annex that. Hope they don't put up a fight. We could get crushed.
Let's see, and then Greenhammer 4. Hey Pat, could you try the shut it down button again? If you can't press it hard enough, have Jeffy sit on it. That would kill the whole machine. Oh no!
What happened?
Wow!
Oh no!
Wow! Has my ability? There we go. Okay.
Okay. There it is. Scared me.
There it is.
Did the world shut down your?
They did. They shut down my shutdown button.
That's where 2020 is taking us.
Well, here we go again. On 2020, just bringing us more fun than you ever dreamed imaginable. There's a China volcanic region in an active stage as scientists are warning of a looming eruption.
Okay, now
researchers believe that the Wei Mountain volcano in China's northeast region is sitting on top of a large amount of magma, according to the South China Morning Post.
Okay.
Which I only read the South China Morning Post for the sports page usually.
Yeah.
So I missed the volcano story until now. Modeling suggests that there are two enormous magma chambers underneath the volcano that are bigger than the volcano itself.
What? How is that possible?
I don't know.
Oh, way down below. Okay.
Yeah.
Way down. Oh, where the Earth's temperature is
hot. It was several million degrees. The little information on Wei Mountain appears to be available, but it's 100 meters tall and 3.1 miles wide. 100 meters tall. So it could be, 10,000 miles tall or an inch and a half. I don't know. There's no way to tell.
Hold on. Did they hit us with... You can't be doing that in a story. You can't be doing metric talking about the height.
Then they switched to miles.
But the width is miles.
So I know exactly how big it is, 3.1 miles wide. Just doesn't tell me anything on the height of the thing. 100 meters and 3.1 miles? That's amazing.
So it's...
Seriously, so it's what, 320 feet high?
Exactly.
And 3.1 miles wide?
So it's a big cauldron or something, yeah.
Wow. The last time the volcano erupted is said to be over 500,000 years ago, with scientists considering it now extinct, and now it isn't.
They thought it would... See, that's where 2020 has taken us. Yeah. Extinct volcanoes are getting ready to do something.
Are becoming active. They're in an active stage.
This is bad.
Scary. God. You know what else is scary? This Bolton book that is being talked about now.
Oh, boy.
If the Drudge page is any indication of what's in that book, it looks like there is a ton of stuff. Supposedly, President Trump asked Xi Jinping for help getting him reelected. For the love of heaven.
What did he want him to do? Go
Supposedly,
door to door?
he okayed China's concentration camps.
Oh, no.
Supposedly, Mike Pompeo said that the president was full of S. Now the feds are talking about criminal charges again against President Trump over some of this stuff. Now, the president has tweeted just this morning, hasn't he?
Oh, gosh. You're going to make me read this? Hang on. Let me see here.
In fact, he's so pissed about it, he quoted the New York Times on what he said. But I thought the New York Times was fake news. But
right. No, not today.
Not when they agree with him.
Donald Trump tweets out, "Wacko John Bolton's exceedingly tedious," that's the quote, exceedingly tedious, New York Times, "book is made up of lies and fake stories. Said all good about me in print until the day I fired him. A disgruntled, boring fool who only wanted to go to war. Never had a clue. Was ostracized and happily dumped. What a dope!" Exclamation mark. I think he used all 240 characters there. Nice job, Mr. President.
That's good. That's good. That's a quintessential Trump tweet right there.
So I've heard that they're trying to get it stopped from being published because it has state secrets in it, huh?
Yeah.
That's a Hail Mary.
It is, because that won't work. And a lot of the information's already out. People are already talking about it. The New York Times already read it and called it, what, exceedingly tedious?
Yeah.
Is what it was?
End quote.
Nice.
What a dope! Exclamation mark.
And also, Bolton says that Trump said journalists should be executed and that invading Venezuela would be cool.
Hang on a second.
I don't know.
Let's just say you're the president of the United States for a day.
Yeah.
I mean, there'd be a lot of stuff that
you would say would be cool.
That's kind of cool.
That you actually could order.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool. You know what would be cool is to take over Venezuela and their oil fields. I bet we can make it work.
Right. President Malinak. Boy, that's scary. President Malinak, we have Marines ready to go. They will invade at your command. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, wow, really?
Yeah,
We're going to take over?
That. Yeah.
All right.
It's about time. You seen that place? Like 3 decades of crap going on down there. I think it'd be pretty cool if we went down there with some Marines.
So could he have said that? Maybe. I don't know. He says a lot of things with her hyperbole that he doesn't intend to do or that he doesn't really believe. It's just that he makes hyperbolic statements.
Yeah.
We all know that to be true. And he's a guy who's really over the top in his speech.
And what's the lesson? The number one thing to keep in mind during the Trump presidency is what? Don't pay attention to what he says, pay attention to what he does.
Right. Have we invaded Venezuela? No, we have not. Has he executed journalists? No, he has not. In fact, he's arrested none of them, contrary to what Barack Obama did.
How many?
Let's not forget that. Barack Obama arrested more journalists than every other U.S. president combined. I think it was 6 or 7.
Let's see here.
It didn't take very many to do more than the rest of the presidents combined.
Boy, he at least went after 10 leakers.
Okay.
So I don't know how many.
How many were arrested?
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, we'll look through that because I know it's more than any other president ever. All right, let me take 60 seconds and tell you about Omega XL. If you got pain due to inflammation, and if you have pain, there's a really good chance it is due to inflammation, especially if it's in your joints, your elbow, your knees. You know, it could be back pain, neck pain, shoulders, legs, whatever. Omega XL can calm that down. Pain relievers and topical creams don't treat the problem. They just mask it. Sometimes they don't even do that. And if you're using the NSAIDs, the non-steroidal anti-inflammatories that you get over the counter, those can attack your kidneys and liver. Well, Omega XL is not a drug. It's a powerful natural supplement that helps reduce pain due to inflammation, promotes healthy joints. It also promotes a natural, healthy immune response in your body. So there's all kinds of benefits to taking this. It's fantastic stuff. And what I love, maybe most of all, it's up there, definitely up there with relieving my pain, is it doesn't have that fishy aftertaste. Here's a special offer to get you started. Order now and get your second bottle free. So you buy one bottle, you get one free. For more information, visit omegaxl.com/Pat. omegaxl.com/Pat or call 800-844-4888.
Pat Gray, Unleashed.
And if that's not enough for the president to have to deal with everything else he's got on his mind, and now this Bolton nonsense. Lindsey Graham causing some trouble because of the things he's said in the past.
Oh, no.
There's some things, if you remember back to the campaign, Graham was not a fan of Donald Trump, especially while John McCain was alive.
Right. And remember
that?
Trump gave out Lindsey Graham's cell phone number at a press conference. Remember that?
Right.
Or at a speech.
Right
before he started.
That's right. And so, he said some things about Trump, and he said some things about Biden in the past that Biden has just put together and used in an ad.
I want to talk to the Trump supporters for a minute. What is Donald Trump's campaign about? He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot. And you know how you make America great again? Tell Donald Trump to go to hell. If you can't admire Joe Biden as a person, then it's probably you got a problem.
Probably.
You need to do some self-evaluation. Because what's not to like? He is as good a man as God ever created. He said some of
He's
the
as
most
good a man as God's ever
incredibly
created.
heartfelt things that anybody could ever say to me.
Wow.
He's the nicest person I think I've ever met in politics.
He's going to
This
cry.
is a defining moment in the future of the Republican Party.
unreal.
We have to reject this demagoguery, and if we don't reject Donald Trump, we've lost the moral authority, in my view, to govern this great nation.
Okay, so super misleading because those were years ago quotes, and they make it sound or maybe look like he said them recently. He hasn't. But the Biden stuff, I don't know where that's coming from.
Wow.
I guess he loves Biden for some reason.
Wow. Ask Tara Reid if she thinks that Joe Biden is the greatest man God ever created.
Yeah. That's amazing stuff. And it's certainly not helpful for the president. Now, does anybody care what Lindsey Graham thinks? Probably not. No Republicans do anyway. Democrats might be swayed by that. Maybe some independents. But I don't care what Lindsey Graham thinks about Donald Trump. Lindsey Graham's a moron. We all know that. He's been slightly less of a moron lately than he was before. But he's still
That's well said. Yeah,
a moron.
So he's less of a moron now.
Slightly less of a
Slightly
moron
less.
than he was in the past. But that's not saying much, because he was a really big moron.
Boy, Lindsey Graham.
We used to have that thing. I don't know if I still do. Let me see if we still have.
Oh, no, you're going to do this?
And
I brought this with.
this was one of the things he.
Free speech is a great idea, but we're in a war.
Yeah.
I love
And
it.
then the other one we usused to play is something like I'm clueless.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
That's good.
clueless.
Yeah,
but I think we deleted that.
That's because,
Because Lindsey, why? Because Lindsey Graham's irrelevant and we never talk about him until now.
Yeah, I remember that. He's like, I'm king of the phone call. People call me all the time to tell me how bad I'm doing my job. Then why do they keep reelecting him?
That's a really good question.
And what he was talking about in that context is how he was so upset that how dare his constituents call his office and tell him, don't vote for the Wall Street bailout. That's what that was.
Wow.
Anyway, Lindsey Graham knows better than you.
He doesn't care. And Lindsey Graham, again, slightly less of a moron right now than he has been in the past, but still a moron nonetheless. Okay? So shouldn't worry about it, I guess. And again, no one's concentrating on the campaign right now. Nobody. Even though we're just, 5 months away from the election?
Yeah.
Holy cow. Think about that.
4.5, yeah.
4.5 months away from the general election. It's a presidential election. Nobody's even talking about it. Nobody's talking about the upcoming conventions. Nobody's talking about whether or not we're going to do debates between Trump and Biden. Nobody's talking about how senile Biden is right now. It's just, this is a great time, really, for Biden. And when he starts having to defend himself and talk about his policies, then you're going to see people waking up and saying, wow, this guy is not...
He's not the one.
Not the one. This is not the guy. No.
Maybe this will be the first presidential election season where we have 3 vice presidential debates and only 1 presidential debate instead of flipped.
Maybe. I think a debate between Biden and Trump would be really fun, though. Can you imagine the fireworks going on there?
Oh, that's a UFC match, is what that is. That is a brass knuckles.
Yes.
First one to pass out is the loser. Because, I mean, those guys, I think...
They'd go at it.
Physically want to hurt each other.
Yeah, I think so. Well, Biden has threatened to take him out behind the school or something.
He's been very threatening.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like he's going to take him back behind some building and beat him up. Oh, okay. All right.
Biden's that guy, though. He's such He is full of hot air.
So anyway, it'll be interesting to see once this does heat up in the fall, because eventually it has to, right? Eventually we've got to focus.
Man, I don't know. It's
Eventually,
2020.
We have to focus on the campaign eventually. I mean, certainly by October, I would think. Right?
Man, I don't know.
Oh, speaking of the fall, just saw the NCAA approved 6-week preseason for all college football teams. So if they start the first week of September, they can start July, I don't know, 24th or something with their camp.
Yay!
So at least they're talking about the camp coming up next month.
I like it.
Looks like it's going to happen.
Come on,
it's going to happen.
What did Dr. Fauci say?
Pat Gray Unleashed on the Blaze Radio Network.
And welcome to it. 888-900-3393. And at Pat Unleashed on Twitter, where Pew Pew One Pew tweets, remember the days when all we had to worry about was the toilet paper missing on the shelves? Mm-hmm. Yeah, good times.
Those were
good times. But, again, how old were you 2 months ago? She's like, I don't think I was even out of high school yet.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it's weird.
That is.
Dr. Diver63, it was Dr. Fauci that said the volcano in China was in dormant. So, of course, it'll blow any minute now. The Steve 42, I believe John Bolton, like I believe Jeffy, is thin. Okay. CB23, you know what else would be cool to invade? Chaz.
Oh.
Wouldn't it, though? Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, just get him out of there. And, but no, it's fine. Veganzuela warlord, new NFL team, the Chaz Kneelers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or the Chaz Razzmatazz.
The Chaz Razzmatazz. Yeah.
I like the Chaz Razzmatazz.
I mean, if they're gonna,
that's gonna be Colin Kaepernick's new team. The Chaz Razzmatazz. I think he's gonna be the quarterback.
That park they took over and they're planting their abundant crops in. You think it's big enough for a stadium?
Yeah.
So maybe they'll have an expansion team or something?
Maybe.
Okay.
We've got some more Chaz-like insanity. Here's a sampling of some of the Antifa mugshots from Portland, Oregon. These are, your friends and your neighbors.
Look at these winners.
These are people you like to hang out with. Right there.
Oh, no.
Right there.
Look at the upper left chick.
Unbelievable.
I really hope that's not permanent. Those tattoos, the chin and the fake glasses she's got tattooed around her eyes. I mean, that better be a Sharpie.
Those are good-looking people. People you just want to hang out with, right?
That guy with the faux hawk on the bottom row with the blue hair.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he actually looks happy to be there.
Yeah, he does.
He's like, hey, what's up? It's party time.
I like the guy in the upper right-hand corner, too. He's got a really nice look.
Really
nice look.
Yeah, his hair almost looks like one of those fake filters you would put on. But no. That's his hair with a bow.
It's really funny that somebody put that out. Seattle police chief says no part of the city is cop-free.
Oh, that's good.
After a business owner's complaint, John McDermott, who owns an auto shop just outside of the Chop, or Chaz, whatever, Said a protester broke into his store, stole money from his cash register, and tried to set fire to the building. The owner's son said he detained the suspect. I chased him down, and as soon as I came face to face, he came at me, so I put him on the ground.
Good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
John McDermott said he called the police a total of 19 times to no avail.
Oh.
They alluded that they were sending someone. Finally, they said they weren't going to send somebody. I don't know what to expect next. If you can't call the police department, you can't call the fire department to respond. What do you have? He said he's heartbroken. I mean, they're the cavalry. Yeah, but it's supposed to be a cop-free zone, so you live in that cop-free zone now.
Yeah, but the police chief said there's no part of the city that's cop-free, right?
Yeah, they're watching from a distance. It's what they're doing, I guess. And
we're all watching from a distance.
Too great a distance, yeah. He said he finally had to give in to another protester's demands who knocked down his fence to let the suspect go to avoid mayhem beyond mayhem, adding that both his son and some of the protesters were armed, but no shots were fired. This could get so ugly so quickly.
But the cops are...
Said officers responded to the report and observed the location from a distance. What good does that do?
With what? A telescope?
What? That is just bizarre. What do you mean you observed it from a distance? God, this is just, it's out of control. How can this be in the United States of America? Chopped Seattle activists are already blocking city lanes. Apparently the city came to some kind of agreement with Raz from Chaz. I don't know. He's the leader, right? Yeah. I guess he's the one you go to. Rapper Raz, who runs Chaz, came to an agreement with the city that they would allow some traffic through it, and then they blocked it off again.
Oh, boy.
After just a little while.
Yeah, you shouldn't be making deals with terrorists.
Yeah, but that's what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. I don't.
How long do you think this thing is going to be like this?
I don't know.
I'm telling you.
I can't predict things anymore.
It's going to be a long time.
It might be a long time.
It's going to be longer than the Iranian hostage. How was that, 400 and something days? How many days is that?
Yeah, 400 something. Some residents who live within the CHOP area, Capitol Hill Occupied Protest Zone, or CHAZ, as we like to call it.
Right.
Said they have an open question for Seattle police. Who do we call or ask for help when burglars are breaking in and stealing our property?
We've already covered this.
It's an unexpected donation. What do you mean? It's an unplanned donation.
Unplanned donation.
What do you mean?
Really proud of you.
That's today. What you do. We are right now in the middle of that autonomous zone. They said they called 911. Here's another person that called 911 when he saw a burglar breaking into his courtyard, grabbing a bike and other items. Wait, they're stealing things in Chaz? Yeah, because it's an unplanned donation. That's all. That's all. Somebody needs it more than you do. Well, how do I know that? How do you know that they need it more than I do? Well, because he took it from you. That's why.
Good answer.
Yeah. The dispatcher told me, we're not going in there. There's nothing we can do. We can come meet you on the outside, but if it's not life-threatening, there's nothing we can do. He said days later, he saw it happen again. I saw some guy who had broken in earlier. He was wearing different clothes, but he locked eyes on me. He saw me and started working toward me. So I ran inside and called 911 again. Once again, his call to 911 was futile. Resistance to these people is futile. We're all just sitting ducks here all day. Now every criminal in the city knows they can come into this area. They can do anything they want. The police won't come in to do anything about it. Right, because you live in Chaz, stupid. That your city's been taken over. What you should be doing is going to your mayor and your governor and telling them you demand that they do something about this. That they take back that section of the city. I mean, if the police go in there, what happens? They'll get in trouble from the mayor or the governor. They're going to lose their jobs. They'll be shut down. Who knows what's going to happen? But if I'm the police, I don't want any part of it either.
And we know they're armed in Chaz. We saw Raz handing out guns to possible minors.
Right.
Right.
The police going to get into a shootout with the Chaz people? No, they're not, because you can't win that situation. That's a no-win situation. So
this is fun.
I say you take it to the mayor and you put it on her. It is she who should be doing something about this.
Yeah, I think it's the governor.
And
though,
the governor.
that should be
the governor should have called in the National
Washington
Guard.
National Guard.
They should be in there right now, and they should have taken it over. The second this happened, they should have put a stop to it.
You saw what Asheville, North Carolina did.
Yeah.
Oh, that was cute. You blocked a road with some
we're going to unblock it now.
Crates there.
Mm-hmm. And they immediately unblocked it. So, I don't know. It's just bizarre.
I fear that Chaz is just a group of pioneers, and there's going to be more Chazes pop up all over the place. And depending on the strength of the local politicians, some will...
Whether or not they're Republicans.
Some will
if they're
continue.
Democrats, forget it. You just lost that area of town. That's all. Just say goodbye to that part of town. Whatever. Okay, yeah, they have that now. It's a different part of the world. It's not the United States anymore.
And what if you're I'm thinking of that owner you talked about, right? That had to deal with that. I'm not paying my taxes. You're not coming in here to protect me? Why am I paying taxes to you? And before you know it, you've got anarchy on multiple fronts.
Well, and if somebody's coming into your place and stealing things from you, don't you have the right to shoot them? I mean, you should be taking it into your own hands at that point. But in Washington, what's going to happen to you if you do that? You'll probably be prosecuted.
I hesitate to figure out what the laws are up there.
You'll be prosecuted. And if you show them a weapon, they'll come back with more weapons, would be my guess. I don't know. I don't know how you deal with that unless you send in the National Guard and put a stop to this. But there's no indication that they'll ever do that. 888-900-3393. The stupidity on behalf of these leftists is just such that I don't know how you deal with it. Listen to what Tim Kaine, a U.S. Senator, listen to what Tim Kaine had to say, pandering to the Black Lives Matter group.
The first African Americans into the English colonies came to Point Comfort, Virginia in 1619. They were slaves. They'd been captured against their will. But they landed in colonies that didn't have slavery. There were no laws about slavery in the colonies at that time. The United States didn't inherit slavery from anybody. We created it.
Wait,
it got
what?
created by the Virginia General Assembly and the legislatures of other states. It got created by the court systems in colonial America in sense that enforced
colonial
fugitive slave laws.
America.
It was we created it.
We created it. When we have United States senators this but stupid, how do you get out of this mess? Seriously. We created slavery? A 400-year-old institution? Slavery. Okay, let's see. We were a colony of Britain. He admitted that. A colony of Britain until we became a nation in 1776. So 244 years ago. And even then, slavery had been going on since the mid to late 1400s. Created by Portugal. Continued by Britain. It seems like by the very definition of inherit, that we did indeed inherit slavery in 1776. We didn't have a ratified constitution until 1791. So it took us from that time, 1791, to 1863 with the Emancipation Proclamation. That's 72 years. Okay, we did have 72 years of American slavery. Not only did we inherit slavery, but we ended it quicker than any nation on earth ever had. Seriously, if you're this stupid, Tim Kaine, you do not belong in the U.S. Senate. I mean, what an asinine. How stupid is it? You learn in grade school that we inherited slavery. We created slavery? Okay. All right. I mean, they didn't even discover this land until 1492. And even then, it wasn't the continent. It was an island off the continent. Wow. This land wasn't settled until Jamestown in 1609, and then it finally took hold in 1620. So slavery had even been going on 140 years then. By then. Just an unbelievably stupid statement.
He is dumb.
What a moron. That guy could have been president. Well, if, enough Democrats would have liked him to make him the nominee, and then if enough Americans in general would have liked him to
he
make
was
him
Hillary's.
That's right. He was Hillary's vice president.
That is
but
the
he
most
ran for a while,
obscure,
right?
Yeah, I think for 5 minutes. Yeah, 6 minutes maybe. Yeah, that's the most obscure vice presidential candidate. Like, no, you have to stop and go,
that's right.
Some guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Well, here's a black voice with a history lesson for Tim Kaine and the rest of the Democrat Party. Check this guy out.
To the feckless, hypocritical, virtue-signaling Democrat leaders of America. You took the time to kneel for George Floyd so you could pretend to care about black people, but I know the truth you continue to ignore. So now allow me to call you on the carpet for your many failures in the black community that you refuse to acknowledge. How about kneeling to acknowledge that the worst riots and the worst instances of police brutality in this country are in your cities alone? You are the common denominator. How about kneeling to apologize for having some of the lowest minority, literacy, and graduation rates, but some of the highest single motherhood, abortion, and black-on-black crime rates in your own districts that you yourselves represent? How about kneeling for the millions upon millions of black children who never got a chance to live because your friends over at Planned Parenthood butchered them before they even had a chance to be born?
That's right.
How about kneeling for the untold numbers of my ancestors who were lynched by your former counterparts in the KKK for simply daring to ask to be treated as equals? They didn't get justice, and even today, by kneeling and apologizing for your white privilege, you still don't treat us as equals. You feel like you have to apologize for your privilege because deep down, you still think that you're better than us by default. If you'd actually held your friend Amy Klobuchar accountable for not prosecuting Derek Chauvin when she had the chance to after he had 10 complaints filed against him in his 19 years with the Minneapolis police force, maybe George Floyd would still be alive. The fact of the matter is, if you had to take a knee for every black life lost needlessly due to your failed leadership, you would be on your knees forever. The only black lives that matter to you are the ones that fit your agenda. You know it, I know it, and the world knows it too. Your party is the one that filibustered for months to prevent the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Your party is the one that only had 23% support of the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery, and had 0% support for the 14th Amendment, which granted freed slave citizenship, and also 0% support for the 15th Amendment, which gave us the right to vote. The policies you have implemented have been the figurative knees on the necks of my people for centuries. And it is because of you and your failed leadership that many of us still can't breathe today. But I've got news for every last one of you. If you think all you have to do is shamelessly pander and kneel to get the support of people like me, if you think you can wear the kente cloths of the Ashanti, an African tribe known for selling their own people into slavery, if you think you can tear down statues and rename buildings and roads to hide your sordid history from everyone, if you think that's all it takes to win over my people, if you think our skin color will keep us from thinking critically, you've got another thing coming. I'm Damani Felder, and that was absolutely nothing but common sense.
Thank you, Damani. Damani Felder. We're going to tweet that out at Pat Unleashed. Good stuff. That's what we need. We need smart, informed African Americans and minorities to stand up to these people. These douchebags in the Democrat Party who want to continue to keep their foot on their throats. Thank you for realizing and for telling the truth, because that's hard. If you're a minority and you speak out like that, that is really hard, because you're going to get everybody coming down on you. On Twitter, on Facebook, you're going to get nothing but garbage from people. Because that's the kind of stuff that just isn't known or talked about in their community. And so, it's a lot easier to just believe what the mainstream media tells you every day and what the progressive educators tell you every day. That the Democrat Party's your friend. Really? Wow. All right, 888-900-3393. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up. Yeah. Welcome to it. 888-900-3393. That's what it is.
That's it.
888.
I can see why you'd be distracted right now, since I just
distracted.
screamed at the top of my lungs during the break there.
Yeah, we're a little frustrated.
I'm a little worn out right now. Okay?
Yeah.
Society, get it together.
We can't get it together as a society. Got some tweets here. Support Bubble Boy tweets. I don't think it's that the representatives are that stupid. I think they hope that their constituents are that butt stupid that they believe anything that comes out of their mouths.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Tim Kaine's pretty stupid.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right.
I think he's pretty stupid.
Actually, that's a bad example. Man.
Yeah. Reality Check tweets, Pat, not only do Black Lives Matter, but obviously Chaz lives matter. Where's our government? Where's the protection that we pay for with our taxes? Where is the help for those that are good people instead of condoning the actions of those that are breaking the law?
Yeah. Well, I love how Jack's Dad 05 just tweeted out that the Seattle mayor has changed the police's new motto there in Seattle. It's no longer serve and protect. It's observe and reflect.
Nice. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this has taken in so many people. I've seen so many things written by members of BYU's football or basketball teams lately. Yoli Childs, who's the best, probably the best player on the team last year, might actually be drafted in the NBA draft this coming up. He just put out on Instagram, I, like so many people in this country, am angry, sad, hurt, and desperate for change. I don't agree with the violence, but can we stop with this? Can we stop I don't agree with violence, but stuff? Seriously.
Yeah.
That needs to stop.
Yeah.
No, there is no but after that. There's no but after I don't agree with violence. You just end it there. Period. I don't agree with violence. Stop doing it. Stop doing it. I don't agree with violence. But please understand what Martin Luther King meant when he said, riots are the language of the unheard. MLK, people use this quote all the time to try to justify violence and riots. That's not what he was saying. He was saying that they are the language of the unheard, but they shouldn't be doing it. That's not the way to go. That's what he said. Don't resort to violence. You lose. Anyway, Yoli continued. After MLK was assassinated, American cities started rioting, causing millions of dollars in damage. On the 6th day of the riots, the Civil Rights Act of 1968 was passed. No. The Civil Rights Act was passed in 1964, 4 years prior to the riots. I don't know. I think they passed a housing addendum to the Civil Rights Act. The Housing Act was passed in 68. But the Civil Rights Act was passed in 1964. I mean, so many of these guys don't even know the history of this stuff.
Yeah.
And if you're going to use Martin Luther King to justify rioting, you're going in the wrong direction.
And I'm sure you'll get to it later. We've got the story over there about the seeds of the riots that are going on. These were planted in the minds of youth in America through our public education system, white or black, Hispanic, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's just ingrained in them to hate this country from kindergarten on, man.
Yeah. And as he continues here, no, I don't want to see violence and I don't advocate for destruction. And again, but the message that Black Lives Matter and that change is necessary needs to be heard. Okay, Black lives are being destroyed by these people who are rioting. They're being destroyed. Their businesses are being taken from them. People have been killed over it. No, that isn't the way to go. And he mentions how people keep saying that's not the way to do things. It isn't! That's why people keep saying it! Because it's not the way to go. Heaven help us. Because even, the most conservative school in the country can't produce students who understand this kind of stuff. Heaven help us. If they're feeling this way at BYU, what are they feeling in Berkeley and Harvard? My gosh, they've been just so indoctrinated with this stuff. We've really got to educate the youth in this country about where all of this stuff came from and how we get out of it. Because rioting ain't the way. Wow. And these people should know turning to God is the way. Especially these people should know it. Let's see. Got some tweets here. Kara3022 tweets. Anyone else notice how quiet the real Georgia Governor Stacey Abrams has been about the Atlanta police?
That's weird.
Yeah. I can't believe it's not Aunt Jemima, tweets. Tim Kaine sounds anti-Semitic. Hello, the Egyptians made slaves of the Jews.
Right.
Was that before America, though?
I don't know.
Was it pre-America? I don't think so. I think they learned that from us, right?
I was hoping you wouldn't ask me.
Eric's rant. The indigenous peoples of the New World had slaves, most notably the Mayans, sacrificing many on those large stone pyramids visited by vain, vacuous vessels of ignorance each year, like Tim Kaine. Yeah. And Europeans are to blame? Weird.
Again, timeline check. I don't know. Were the Mayans before?
Was that prior to the United States?
What is this, Final Jeopardy? I don't know.
From Blaze Addict 2. Pat, how could you know what Martin Luther King was saying? Did you forget you're Caucasian and couldn't possibly understand?
Right.
I did. I'm sorry.
And I have a question for Blaze Addict 2.
That's true.
Why do we never get tweets from Blaze Addict 1?
And how do we understand the tweets from Blaze Addict 2 when we haven't seen the tweets from Blaze Addict 1?
I'm just going to look.
How do we even get that?
Hey, there is a Blaze Addict 1.
Is there?
Okay.
All right.
Huh.
Let's see. I love this. This plays right into what we were just talking about a minute ago before the break with Yoli Child's lengthy post on Instagram, I think it was, about violence. I'm not agreeing with violence, but I'm not saying that we should have destruction, but their message needs to be heard. Yeah. Okay. There's no but after I don't believe in violence and I don't believe in destruction. Okay. And especially when it comes to they're destroying their own areas and their own people's businesses and livelihoods. There's no but after that sentence. I don't believe in violence. Period. Destruction is not the way to go. Period. Ugh, man. Anyway, great article in The Federalist about how our anti-American education system made riots inevitable. At the heart of the unrest is the belief that the United States is a uniquely bad country, instead of an exceptionally free, prosperous, and powerful one. It's the same message that the Pulitzer Committee endorsed when it crowned the New York Times 1619 Project. The United States is, always has been, and likely always will be a deeply racist society. As many of us warned years ago, the radical ideas born on campus have already metastasized across society. Today, K through 12 public schools across the country increasingly teach some version of the lie. The error-ridden, America-hating 1619 Project and its associated Pulitzer-endorsed Common Core compliant lesson materials is already being taught in more than 3,500 schools across the country. Anecdotally, ever more superintendents are responding to the current unrest by promising to adopt the 1619 curriculum. The problem will get worse before it gets better.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's a good little sneak peek.
Well before protesters spilled into the streets in 2020, the largest national teachers union gave its official stamp of approval to Black Lives Matter. Okay. Again, let's separate the concept, the principle of Black Lives Matter, which of course they do. Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. But all Black lives matter, not just the ones who were killed by white police. The lives they lose every day in the abortion mill at Planned Parenthood matter. The lives they lose every day in Chicago at the hand of other black men, they matter. Why don't they talk about any of that? Why? So Black Lives obviously matter. But the group Black Lives Matter is a radical, Marxist, extremist, left-wing organization that people should not be following. And to indoctrinating teachers with the concept of white fragility and its supposed cause, white supremacy culture, as part of professional development. The effort to re-educate the nation's teachers in the left's radical image will also likely be accelerated due to the protests. The same national union runs a division solely dedicated to advancing Black Lives Matter and encouraging identity politics in school. During that same meeting, the National Education Association failed to pass a resolution pledging to rededicate the union to the pursuit of increased student learning, ostensibly its purpose for existence. But they didn't pass that. So they're not rededicating themselves to the pursuit of increased student learning. Oh, okay. Well, what are you doing? Out of the 100 largest school districts, precisely none have the words America or patriotism in their mission statements.
Wow.
That is incredible.
Wow.
This fact is even more shocking when one considers the public school system was originally created to teach American citizens how to preserve the republic they had been bequeathed. Noah Webster, one of the country's earliest textbook publishers and education advocates, wrote of a future American public school system. Begin with the infant in the cradle. Let the first word he lisps be Washington. Now the public school system teaches students to view the indispensable man as foremost and unforgivably a slaveholder. That would be George Washington, of course. Where the right finds itself today is a direct consequence of its appalling failure to take culture and the institutions that shape it at least as seriously as it takes tax cuts, deregulation, and economic growth. Is it any surprise that we're now seeing 1619 in the streets? The anti-American ideas of the radical left have already won nearly everywhere else. Wow, this is so true and so powerful. 2/3 of millennials believe that America is a racist and sexist country. Close to 40% think the United States is among the most unequal societies in the world. Well, yeah, they're taught it every day. And it's reinforced every day by the media. So between the educational system and the media, our kids don't have a chance if you're not involved in it. If you're not involved in what they're hearing every day about this country, I mean, every day, all the time. You got to be continually in their ear about it. Then they're going to be leftists. Not just racist and sexist, but uniquely so. This is the historically illiterate worldview of the graduates of our nation's education system. A nation that teaches its children to hate their country cannot endure. Oof. What a powerful statement. A nation that teaches its children to hate their country cannot endure. A nation that pays out $700 billion a year and trillions in taxpayer-financed student loans to train future citizens to see their country as hopelessly and irreparably racist cannot continue. That's just absolutely brilliant. Just absolutely brilliant.
Simple yet brilliant.
Yep. Man, good stuff. And that's why they're being demonetized by Google.
The Federalist, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Unbelievable. It's really unbelievable.
If you want to see that article, by the way, we have it tweeted out at Pat Unleashed on Twitter.
Speaking of education, how about this elitist New Hampshire senator? This is a state senator in New Hampshire talking about the fact that, I mean, parents, it's cute that, you want to help out and stuff, but...
You want to help out with the education of your offspring. That's fun.
Come on now. I mean, that's adorable, but we can't allow it.
So,
listen to this.
Parents that are not that well educated cannot make those decisions. Those decisions, as detailed, should be left to a professional.
I don't think the senator said that. So.
I thought you did.
If your dad was a carpenter and you want to become a carpenter, then yes, listen to your dad.
Okay, so what they're saying there was a little hard to understand, but what what the senator was saying was that exactly what I set it up as. It's cute that parents want to be involved in whatever, but they can't. They can't. They're not smart enough. If they don't have a college education, they can't be teaching their kids anything. And one of the other senators called her out on it and said, that's not what she was saying. And then she clarified, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. No, what I'm saying is if you're a carpenter, then you could teach them carpentry, but nothing else.
Wow.
I mean, but that's the sentiment.
And we've had something like that before.
We have. Yeah. We have this educator that was talking about it, how parents you can't do that.
We do, educators go through education for a reason. They are the people who know best about how to serve children.
Oh, right. They know best.
That's not necessarily true of an individual resident.
Thank you.
I'm not saying they don't want the best for their children, but they may not know what actually is best from an education standpoint.
That's great. That's great. Oh, okay.
Parents don't know what's best for their child.
I said they may want what's best for their child.
Yeah, we heard that, Puddin'.
They may not know, and they may not have the capabilities. We heard earlier about spending 6 and 7 hours a day.
That's so great. I said they may want what's best for the child. They just don't know what that is. That's all I said. Parents don't know what's best for their child. They want what's best, but they don't know how to give it to them. Wow. Okay. There you go. Again, the elitism of the left. Parents are stupid. Unless you have a college education, you're not worth anything. And you can't teach your kids anything. You've got nothing to offer them. So leave that to the professionals, okay? The professional propagandists that have been taught how to teach your children how to hate this country, and let them handle it.
I don't think it's in your sound machine there, but what was there was something else the head of the NEA said, I don't know, a decade or so ago about their primary focus. What exactly is their primary?
There was something.
Okay, man. Anyway, it was something along the lines of, our primary goal isn't to educate kids, right? It's the power.
Yeah, right.
It's the power we wield.
I used to have that. I don't know where that is now.
Have you looked for NEA? Find NEA?
I did.
Okay.
I did. But yeah, so we've had multiple examples of that. How
elitist, man.
How elitist they are. And they don't want the parents involved. And they don't want you involved. They don't even want you to know what they're teaching your kids. Because what they're teaching your kids is anti-American propaganda. And they know that you would counter that. So they don't even want you to know about it. It's amazing. And they're doing a great job.
It's tragic.
It is tragic. And we let it happen for way too long. And now I just hope it's not too late.
A century of this machine is paying off in our city streets today.
It's paying off big time. Jeez. So they can pass off virtually anything to our kids. Anything. The whole inequality, wealth inequality, income inequality, all of that stuff. All that health is a right, that food is a right, that housing is a right, that we need to have a second Bill of Rights. I mean, they're really pushing that kind of stuff.
And don't forget, New Jersey's proud. They now have, for K through 12, curriculum about that's mandatory now, climate change, as if it wasn't already being taught to begin with. But everything's a trade-off. I wonder what they're exchanging that time for. What used to be mandatory in New Jersey that they're like, we don't need to talk about?
Founding Fathers, Constitution, that kind of thing. That's so unnecessary.
Need to talk about carbon emissions.
Yeah, right. Because that's a plague that's sweeping the planet right now. Nobody cares about the Constitution. It's old and dusty and
Would you
irrelevant.
rather have your kid subjected to lessons about old, dusty, white slave owners?
Thank you.
Or learn about how they can think.
How they can save the world, Keith.
Think globally, act locally.
And save the world, Keith.
And save the world.
I mean, it's so amazing. The Dallas County Commissioners, and I'll bet you our kids are just like, oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was a good move. Dallas County Commissioners just declared racism a public health crisis. I'm sorry, what? Wait. Racism is a health issue now? In fact, not just an issue, it's a crisis. Oh, well, if they passed it, that must mean racism is a health crisis. Nobody's ever died, well, unless people get violent about it, but nobody ever dies from just word racism. I mean, it might hurt somebody's feelings. No, you don't die from it. You can't get sick from it. What do you mean it's a public health crisis? It's a behavior. It's an ugly behavior that humans have and share with each other. It's not a health issue. It is a behavior. However, the resolution that was presented by longtime Commissioner John Wiley Price addresses 10 points meant to tackle racism in Dallas County.
Oh, this is going to be rich.
Number 1, assert that racism is a public health crisis affecting our entire county.
So we assert that?
Yeah, we're asserting it.
Okay, we're asserting it.
Number 2, we're going to work to progress as an equity and justice-oriented organization with the Commissioner's Court and its staff leadership continuing to identify specific activities to further enhance diversity and to ensure anti-racism principles across Commissioner's Court leadership, staffing, and contracting.
So help me. That's a run-on sentence.
Sure is.
So we're asserting and progressing. Got
yes.
it. Okay.
We're also, number 3, promoting equity through all policies approved by the Commissioner's Court and enhance educational efforts aimed at understanding, addressing, and dismantling racism and how it affects the delivery of human and social services, economic development, and public safety. Another run-on sentence. That
seriously, man, someone get this
guy
a Jared.
Number 4, continue to advocate locally and through the National Association of Counties for relevant policies that improve health in black communities and support local, state, regional, and federal initiatives.
Blah, blah.
Number 5,
blah,
further
blah, blah.
work to solidify alliances and partnerships with other organizations that are confronting racism and encourage other local, state, regional, and national entities to recognize racism as a public health crisis. They still haven't gotten any of the medical system involved here. So if it's a health issue, why is there no medicine involved?
Yeah, we're halfway home. And
okay, I'm up to number 6. I've not heard anything about the medical community, doctors, nurses, prescriptions, drugs. What can we take? This is unreal. Number 6, support community efforts to amplify issues of racism and engage actively and authentically with communities of color wherever they live. Now, what does that even mean? You support to amplify issues of racism and engage actively and authentically. Shut up. Number 7, to always promote and support policies that prioritize the health of all people, especially people of color, by mitigating exposure to adverse childhood experiences. Number 8, institute racial equality training with the goal of reaching Commissioner's Court agency leadership and staff. Number 9, encourage racial equity training among all community partners. And number 10, identify clear goals and objectives, including periodic reports to the Commissioner's Court to assess progress and capitalize on opportunities to further advance racial equity. Not a single word in a public health crisis, by the way. Public health crisis about doctors being involved, health professionals of any kind being involved, and no medication involved. Not even mental health people are involved
You missed
here.
number 11. Get prescriptions for racists, and if you take it, then you're cured. Is that
I wish. No, that's not there. That's not
number
there.
10 is update us regularly on our brainwashing efforts.
Yeah. I mean, so ridiculous.
This is
just so ridiculous. So out of control. Here's a related story, too. Speaking of all of this.
I'm sad.
Michael Strahan speaking out right now.
Really?
Yeah.
What now?
Michael Strahan. What is he? 6'6", 280,
Big
something
guy.
like that. Big dude.
I'll look it up.
He felt he couldn't speak up at ABC.
What?
Because as a black man, he'd be too threatening. Okay, what? Wait.
What?
I'm sorry. This is such a load of bull crap. Michael Strahan reportedly felt unable to raise his voice at ABC without being perceived as threatening. Nobody told him that. Nobody said, hey, as a black man, you need to keep your voice down or not say anything because we'll be scared if you mention anything.
Wait a minute. This is the same Michael Strahan. We played a video clip before of him introducing some little boy that was dressed up like a chick, and he was just all into that. Oh, look at you.
He sure was.
Look at you on that stage doing your twerking and your whatnot. That is so cool. And you didn't feel like you could stick up for racism? Against racism? What? Shut up, Michael Strahan. I wouldn't say that if we were face to face, however.
No, he's a big dude.
Yeah, he is.
According to multiple outlets, Strahan, who left his co-hosting post on Live with Kelly Ripa for Good Morning America, another great gig, a better gig than the Live with Kelly, told fellow staffers he felt he couldn't speak up as a black man at the company. I don't know if that's now or then. Ridiculous.
So stupid.
Unless they were berating you or abusing you or threatening you, you are responsible, Michael, for your feelings.
But what?
Your employer is not responsible for your misperceptions. They hired you. They paid you a fortune to work there, so they wanted you there.
No kidding.
I mean, whatever weird emotional hang-ups you've developed after that, that's on you.
Was there something going on at ABC that we don't know about? Was there some sort of systemic racism that he didn't?
No, he doesn't even allege that.
So what is he talking about?
This whining has to man up and just speak up for yourself. This has got to stop. I mean, this has to stop.
It's incumbent upon all of us as human beings to speak up if we see injustice or racism in our workplace or in our lives or in our social interactions. But he's making it sound like there was something really bad, something heinous going on behind the scenes at ABC he couldn't stand up and stop this in its tracks. If you're in retrospect going back and saying, oh, I guess I just didn't do enough, for what? Be specific, man. Otherwise, shut up.
And he's not even alleging any sort of abuse or racism or anything. He just felt like he couldn't speak up. We need to tell people like that to shut up. Please. Then. Shut up.
You obviously have nothing to say, Michael, so why are you even beginning to speak on this?
We need to go back to real American values and giblets. We need to have some giblets as a country again and say, look, grow up. Shut up. Instead, we roll over, play dead, say, oh, we're so sorry you felt that way. We'll have to work really hard so that you don't feel like that anymore. What was it I did wrong? Well, nothing I can really put my finger on. I just didn't like the way I felt.
Yeah.
Okay, well, then I'll work on that. No, you don't. He needs to work on that.
Yeah, all I heard in that whole...
American Giblets?
Yeah, American Giblets.
Okay.
That's what I heard. But
let's get back to American Giblets. Maybe that's the name of the show today.
Seriously.
Let's get back to American Giblets. We have none right now as a country.
Yeah.
We got no giblets. We're afraid to say anything to anybody. And we take it upon us, the responsibility of how they feel at all times. I'm sorry, I'm tired of it. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not going to do it. Not that I ever did it, but I'm certainly not going. I'm going to continue not to do it. All right?
Tomorrow's Friday, right?
Yeah, it's Friday tomorrow.
Frivolous?
Yay!
Frivolous Friday?
Yeah.
You want some animal videos tomorrow?
No.
Oh.
Pat Gray, only on the Blaze Radio Network.